You guys ready to start the public hearing anyway? Well, running a little behind schedule, but I would like to call this public hearing to order. Recording of the roll.
All present.
An open public hearing. Public hearing, this is to hear comment relative to fiscal year 15-16 proposed budget, schedule of rates for the city services, and the property tax millage rates levied to support proposed budget.
Thank you. Just a couple of reminders and a review of the process for the budget. We began back in January when the commission adopted or went through the commission goal setting process. And after we adopted the goals, the city department heads used those goals to guide our initial budget requests. The requests were reviewed and revised several times throughout the past few months. We've held 4 commission work sessions to discuss the budget and fee schedule. The proposed balanced budget and fee schedule have been available for public review down in the clerk's office since last week. And as discussed during the budget work sessions, the proposed budget is basically an operational budget, as unfortunate as that sounds. No major items or projects are included. And there are no changes to the general operating millage or any other current city millages. The following exceptions: the memorial building renovation, unlimited tax bond millage has expired, and the 2015 street improvement limited tax bond millage begins this year. So that's a basic recap on kind of the process of the budget. If there's any more specific questions that the commission has for me, we can discuss those now before we open it up to the public.
Commissioners, any questions, comments, concerns?
We've heard this a lot. I don't have any questions.
Okay. Well, this is a public hearing to hear comment. So if you're part of the audience and you wish to comment at this time, right now we're hearing comment on fiscal year 15-16 proposed budget, schedule of rates for the city services, and property tax millage rates levied to support proposed budget. So if there's any member who wishes to speak, please approach the podium and state your name.
John Ludberg, 218 North Lowell Street, Ironwood. 2 subjects related to the budget for 2015-2016. The 1% administration fee, I think we need to look at tightening our belts, trying to work within what we have, and not passing along another increase to the residents of Ironwood. At our last meeting, we had to pass along a sewer and water increase, and I think it's just going to be too much for us to pass along another 1% to the community. Also related to the budget for next year, we all know that the community of Ironwood was built around the mines in the early part of this past decade. And at the time, we had a population approximately in the 20,000 range. Infrastructure of streets, waters, and sewer lines are over a century old. I think we need to look at areas in our different neighborhoods that have vacant lots, excess vacant land that is either owned by the city or owned privately, and look at maybe closing down or decommissioning parts of these neighborhoods, these areas, so that we can eliminate some of the infrastructure that we don't need, some of the water, some of the sewer and that. That could be done by eminent domain. We could take those few residents that might live in those areas and relocate them to more vibrant neighborhoods. And I think in the long run, that could save the community some big dollars down the road. It might cost us a little bit of money up front, but in the long run, I think it could save some significant dollars. I think it's something worth discussing and considering in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments on the 15-16 proposed budget? All right, I will close this public hearing, and that gives us 7 minutes to talk amongst ourselves.
It is screaming loud now.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. That's why that was really, really, really minimal comment there.
And the camera works wonderful. I was able to do the minutes. Even though I wasn't here, I was able to listen to it.
Oh.
Very well.
Is that a valid
Excited
use
about
of,
that.
is that a kosher use of the recording to take the minutes? Just curious.
Well, we had somebody here appointed.
Right.
Yeah. It was very clear before you couldn't hear any of it.
Not a great concert last Sunday. It was just amazing. I know, I just, it was so good. The music and the slides, it was just this really cool.
I'm glad we were able to do that.
Yeah, your speech was a little long. I think I timed it at 42 seconds. So I asked the mayor to speak for 30 seconds. She was pretty close. It's probably more like a minute and a half.
Yeah, very nice job with the slides.
Yeah, they did. Oh, yeah. All the way around. It's like, no, I go, I don't have to work on that. It's like so weird.
Oh, it's the next project.
So what do you think of that prisoner escape over there in New York, Joe?
I didn't have a chance to look at it.
Oh my gosh.
It's really like Shawshank Redemption.
They cut through a steel pipe like this. They cut a great big hole in the side. Really? Where'd they get the tools to do that? Depends which clock you want to go by.
Yeah,
This one says I-29.
I got 526 in my computer. To see how Brandon.
Same thing.
Couple minutes. My watch is 5:25.
All right, I can break the silence. It is now 5:30. I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item B, recording of the roll.
All present.
Item C, consent agenda. Are there any changes we need to be aware of?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tower, second by Commissioner Sim to approve tonight's consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion or concerns? Roll call.
Care,
Yes.
Simo.
Yes.
Sim.
Yes.
Sauer,
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes. Item D, approval of the agenda. Any changes we need to be aware of?
A motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tower, second by Commissioner Simo to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, presentation, Michael J. D. Brown, Community Development Director, update on the comprehensive plan.
I'll give you my poster up by reading the vision statement, and then I got a principal and go through the main items for the month of May. Measuring the trails of our past, building the trails for our future. Nestled in the wilds of Michigan, big snow country, Ironwood is a year-round destination that attracts residents and visitors alike. With world-class recreational opportunities from traditional activities like skiing and biking, to emerging and innovative adventure sports. Vibrant civic spaces and cultural institutions, thriving businesses, intriguing historical attractions, and welcoming, safe, and collaborative atmosphere. Ironwood is a vibrant, unique, small town where people come to enjoy the quality of life. Loosely translated as strength of will and courage in the face of adversity, the Finnish word sister encapsulates the spirit of the Ironwood community. The ethos of sisters have been the stories of Ironwood's past, from its early days in the mining town to World War I, where Ironwood residents gave their lives in service to this country. The same resilient spirit continues to drive Ironwood today, as community members work together to preserve and promote prosperity, heritage, and beauty of the Ironwood community, forging new paths, uncovering new opportunities, and creating new spirits of the future. Stories of the future. And the guiding principle I have to share with you this evening is a rich story. Ironwood is a community of stories with a rich heritage of hard work, service, family, and community. Community history is celebrated in town's historic buildings and sites, and through institutions, events, and programs that make visible the many storylines, new and old, woven into the tapestry of community life. So as far as updates for the month of May, continue to work with the miners group on their park plan. Met with the miners group representatives and discussed the survey results that came in May. The Riverwalk Trail Group has been working, combination of folks from Ironwood, Wisconsin, Gibbon County, working on that trail system, trying to lay out plans for that. The Art Park is under construction. If you haven't seen, take a drive down Laura Street. It's nearing completion. They've got most of the concrete in, a lot of electrical work in. We'll be wrapping that up hopefully this week, probably next week. Had some meetings with the farmers market groups, the community garden groups, and others interested in the regional food system of the area, and continue having those conversations. We continue to work on the housing rehab toolkit, which is a tool used for homeowners to learn about how they can rehab their homes, different programs available, and so forth. I've been engaging in business retention business on a weekly basis, and specifically been targeting the US 2 corridor. With the construction going on out there, and it's important to talk to the business out there, see how things are going, keep in touch with them, have a conversation back and forth. So that's really going very well. We continue to administer the blight grant that we have. We've had a follow-up meeting to the Gibbon County, or the Gibbon Community College Connect Summit that took place in April. Kind of a working group of individuals that want to take it the next step further and work on some problem-solving solutions for some issues that we identified there. Continue to work with the broadband in the area, working with the county and the state of Michigan on the Michigan Connect plan, kind of a broadband plan for the county and to show what are the opportunities for broadband and what can we do to increase broadband capability here. The Forest Service held their second of 3 Montreal River cleanups, went very well. And they took a lot of garbage out of the river, they won the banks, and a third. And it continued to work on the SAW grant of sanitary and storm sewer analysis. That is any questions you have.
Michael, as we approach a year into our comprehensive plan, I'm not sure exactly when we adopted it, but it was sometime last summer, wasn't
It was in July.
it? Might it be helpful to have a 1-year benchmark, kind of an assessment of how we're doing? You know, you do a really nice job of identifying how each project dovetails with the comprehensive plan, but an overview as to how we've been doing on meeting the goals.
And what my plan is that this first year we talked about, going to be kind of working on an 18-month schedule, so we can kind of get on a calendar year basis as far as how the projects go and the cycle of the budget and those discussions and stuff. So I will be doing a full report every year in December, January time, but I was planning on doing a little more detailed input or feedback on the plan itself coming up in the next couple of months. So working with all the different appointed boards and commissions as well as the city commission. So we do have the implementation matrix that the consultant provided us. I use that on a daily basis, inputting, keeping track of the projects, what's been done, kind of a rough timeline of how things have progressed with different projects. So yeah, if the commission would like a little more in-depth detailed discussion next month, I can certainly provide that.
Commissioners, any other questions, comments for Michael? Oh, thank you. Item F, citizens wishing to address the commission on items that are on the agenda. 3-minute limit, please. Please be mindful of time and respectful. And these are items that are on the agenda. I'm looking for your information before we make a decision. So if you are able, please approach the podium and state your name.
Yes, Alder Lofsich here, 1221 East Leonard, and it's payments on N and O. Right now, Angelo Lupino's guys, they're blacktopping, and they're doing a great job. Those guys are busting their tails off. Rookie-less guys did a beautiful job. They worked hard. They were out there, even at times, they were out there with them during the night. But the problem I have is the engineering. And there's one person there on the corner of Zinn and Margaret Street, Russ Anderson. They raised Zinn Street, and Russ is gonna have to pay a few $1,000s to get a fuel hauled in and so forth and so on. There was no reason to raise Zinn. The water did flow down to the storm sewers. And I don't know if the city should pay for this or Coleman Engineering should pay for this. I mean, Russ should not have to pay for this project to fix his yard. That wasn't his fault. His yard's gonna fill up with water. You can't, they're gonna be straight to about 6 inches, and there's gonna be a drop off there. He's gonna have to get work done on it. And if anybody in here besides Mike Foley and Scott Erickson can tell me that Florence Street is done right, look, we square the eye, behind that theater, with that bend in that road was straight. Besides them two, but look, we square in the eye and not laugh. I don't believe it. I mean, that road should be straightened out, and with the engineering, there was no reason to put that bend. They said it's because of the right of way. That's the road has to go in the center of the right of way. Does the highway go in the center of the right of way? No, it probably doesn't. Why wasn't the highway moved? Why wasn't the whole street moved? I mean, that street looks disgusting. That is a disgusting looking street. That street right there should have a city of Ironwood right there. On our website, say this street used to be straight. I mean, somebody should pay to fix that street. It should not be the people and the taxpayers of the city of Ironwood. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to address the commission on items that are on the agenda? 3-minute limit, please.
Bill Martell, 647 Huron Street. I reserved comment for J&M, and I'd be curious on why your internet site was tried at noon, 1:45, 2, 3:00, and 4:00, and none of this was available today. Thank you.
I would like to hear what your comments are on J and N at this time. Mr. Martell, I would just like to hear what your comments are right now on J and N.
Jay, I'm wondering, like, this is the third time I've seen a grader on your trail over there, on your walking trail. I don't know if Ross Peterson is doing this, or if it's the city of Ironwood. And as for him, I'm wondering if you're going to dump more dirt there or low.
Okay, N has to do with the water project.
What? M is your queen.
Oh, M, I'm sorry, I thought you said N.
And I'm also curious about that dirt down here by the Knights of Columbus. I don't know if the power company's doing that or the city.
I believe that's a staging area for upcoming construction. All right, thank you for your comments. We are now on item G, citizens wishing to address the commission on items that are not on the agenda. Same thing, 3-minute limit, please. Please be mindful of time and please be respectful. Suggested procedure would be to bring your concerns to staff. If you do not have a resolve, then bring your concerns to the commission. This will ensure that your comment or your complaint is on our radar and that we will have information to possibly come to some sort of resolve. So if you have not brought your topic to the city staff, I would suggest that would be your first step before coming to the commission. So at this time, citizens wishing to address the commission on items that are not on the agenda. And John, you're up.
John Rudberg, 218 North Pole, Ironwood. Today, the lawn at Riverside Cemetery is close to blight condition and needs immediate attention. 2 questions. Is there a lawn mowing schedule for Riverside Cemetery, or does the contractor that we hired for it have the ability to mow on demand, on need? Or does the city staff direct them to do that?
I know right now where it's scheduled as far as when they do the bids, a number per year or per season. I know
What it looks like today.
it will be cut, and I agree that it does not. It looks shaggy, and I appreciate. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, John. Anybody else? Go ahead, Paul.
Yes, Paul Vermosich again, 1221 East Leonard. And I brought it to put it on the agenda for the second time. It wasn't ever been put on. That you people, Scott should give a report on the problems that are in these construction zone areas.
I think, Paul, what we're looking at is to be specific. The city and the staff, I mean, they deal with a number of complaints and concerns every day. And I don't think if we brought every concern and complaint to the city commission meeting, that it would be a very productive meeting. If you have something specific, please bring it to the Scott's attention or whatever topic area that you're looking at. If you cannot find resolve, please then bring it to the city commission.
Hasn't he though? Like, at what point, he's been here for like last 7
Let-
meetings.
Let me finish.
Okay, all right.
So what I'm looking at, get it to the city staff first and be specific, because if you come up with something, you had brought up like a trout stream. I'm not gonna know anything about a trout stream, point blank right here, right now. Bring it to our attention, be specific. I don't know what else I can say. We trust that our staff handle these comments and these concerns. I communicate with the city staff. When something big comes up, they communicate with us as well. So that's the process that I would like to see happen. Yeah. Yeah.
They were never addressed. Everything was just left underneath the carpet. Once Scott Scott, and that's it. I mean, Keith Crandall's problem is still not resolved. He's still fighting with his insurance companies.
And I told you this before, have people come in. I don't want you to be here picking up this neighbor, that neighbor, that neighbor. They have concerns, let them come in, talk to our staff and look for resolve.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Maybe for the commission's benefit, some of the topics that Paul has brought up, we've asked him about afterwards to say what's going on. You mentioned Nori and, the neighborhoods up there. So I asked him, who specifically, we do want to find out if there is a problem up there, and talk to the individual if it's resolvable. He mentioned that the individual that we had talked to, the whole project that had a concern up there. He probably still doesn't like the project, and he never liked the project.
You never like it, and that's what.
So, that was an issue that was really unresolvable, and, again, we had a lot of communication with that individual for the whole project. And again, there is a resolution to it, but if there's other issues out there, I still would offer out to pause other names and people, bring them to us, and we will follow up with them and contact them. So again, that's the best procedure, on a daily basis, whether we are consultants, whether we are city staff, we are working with, residents daily to resolve issues, and I mean, it's, tens and dozens, in a day, and it's not typical practice to have the commission involved in every, topic that does come up, because there are many that come up, that is the role that we play.
I mean, if these concerns, they should involve you. They should involve you because we elect you. You work for us. You did not work for Scott. You did not work for Coleman Engineering.
I agree.
I mean, you work for us. These problems should be resolved, and you should know what's going on with these problems. You're talking people's houses. You're talking major streets. You're talking a street project that we're going to be paying on for 40 years. 40 years. And this is not a $50,000 playground. I mean, this is something that has to be done right the first time. And David asked at the meeting, when you said this engineering stuff should go on bids, the survey stuff should go on bids, you're 100% totally right on that. Home engineering does not need a blank check in the city of Ironwood.
All right,
These major projects should go on bids.
Paul, can you wrap it up?
Construction companies go on bids, all these other projects go on bids. It's not just homes, the engineering should go on bids too.
Thank you, Paul.
Again, as topics do come up, related to us, we will follow up. And again, if we don't get resolved, and the commission is the next level, we try to address those. Again, not every topic that comes up is resolvable. Curvature of the road, we explain that, we've had many discussions on it. Some people may not like it, that's unfortunately the reality of the situation up there in the field. We've been over that type of thing. But if we try to address the questions that come up, may not always give the answer that they want to hear, but something that, as we see it, or as we have the information, we'll pass it on.
All right, item G, citizens wishing to address the commission items that are not on the agenda. Again, a reminder of a 3-minute limit, please. Okay, takes us to old business. Item H, review and consider resolution 015-020, approving an appropriations act for fiscal year 15-16, including budget establishment of the 15-16 millage rates for city services and authorizing the collection of a 1% tax administration fee and adopt a 15-16 city fee schedule.
Thank you. The General Appropriations Act is the official document that gets approved to finalize our budget. And this is the last stage of the budget process for 2015-16 fiscal year. Our charter has to be approved at tonight's meeting, the first meeting in June. Just a reminder that this is the budget that we went over. This is what we're recommending if approved as such. The budget is a living and breathing document. As we go through the fiscal year, things are going to happen. We may get more income, we may have more expenses. We'll work through that, and we do the public do budget amendments as necessary.
Commissioners, any questions, comments?
Can you describe the 1% administration fee that we collect? How long has the city been collecting that, and what's its purpose?
I haven't been here that long, but since I've been here.
I've always seen it on my tax bill. This is not a new additional fee. It's something that's always been there, correct?
That is correct. This is common among municipalities that collect taxes. This fee goes to help us administratively operate. Very common. Like I said, I don't know a municipality that does not do the fee, but it's not new this year.
It's been in place well beyond all of us. It's a standard, that's typically applied.
Thank you.
Any other questions, concerns, commission?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 015-020, our Appropriations Act for fiscal year 2015-2016.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tower, second by Commissioner Sim, to approve resolution 015-020 as described in item H. Any further discussion or concerns? Roll call.
Seymour,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Gare,
No.
Corcoran.
Yes. Takes us to new business. Item I, discuss and consider payment number 2 to Ross Peterson Construction, the amount of $7,980 for the demolition of 227 East Aurora.
Again, you've probably all seen the project next to the library. Ross Peterson did a really nice job of taking that building down with tape quarters. Restoration looks good. Again, this is the progress payment. We are retaining $1,000. That's just to make sure that grass grows and the turf gets established, it's all been seeded. So it'll be a few weeks and hopefully we'll get turf establishment and finalize the project. So it's the second progress payment for that project.
I'll make a motion, we approve the payment described in item I.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower to approve payment number 2 as described in item I. Any further discussion, concerns? Roll call.
I do.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Is there any other reason why so I know we have $1,000 retainer. Would there be any other issues that could come up besides the grass not growing at this point? Is there anything underneath? Or I'm just wondering.
Yeah, not that we're aware of. I think, again, everything, the debris was taken out and was backfilled. There should be no other issues that we can anticipate. Denison, you're aware of, that's outstanding.
Oh, everything was cleared up. We've only a partial basement. The rest is just on the side. Everything's been all out. I don't see any problems.
All right.
Motion by Semo, second by Tower to approve payment number 2 as described in item I, and roll call. Sorry.
Sim,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Gare,
Yes.
Seymour,
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes. Item J, discuss and consider payment number 1 to Ross Peterson Construction in the amount of $119,866 for the construction of the Michigan Western Gateway Trail.
Again, you probably didn't see any work activity out there. The work's been going very well. The trail development, trail essentially graded one end to the other. The brush has been removed. They're now working on some fine tuning some areas. They're graveling the base, getting ready for asphalt paving. The bridge is under construction. They're putting the railing up on the bridge. They'll follow that with rebuilding. So again, this is a partial payment for the project. Again, things are moving along well, and so far so good for the project.
And then just to confirm that the work is being done by Ross Peterson Construction.
Correct, yes.
And that,
Work is all being
okay.
done by Ross Peterson. His equipment out there, no city graders or anything like that. It's Ross's equipment that are going up and down and making this great.
And projected completion date for our leg?
It's the middle of August. I'm optimistically hopeful it'll be sooner than that.
Okay.
Things are going along very well.
Be so fun if that were done by the festival. I know that's
Right.
way ahead of
Keep our
schedule.
fingers crossed.
I'll make a motion, we approve the payment described in item J.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower to approve payment number 1 as described in item J. Any further discussion, concerns? Roll call.
Howard,
Yes.
Gare,
Yes.
Seymour.
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes. Item K, discuss and consider amending sick time donation policy to sick vacation time donation policy.
Thank you. Previously approved a donation of sick leave policy to allow employees to donate sick time to other employees in need under extenuating circumstances. We've reviewed that again, and we're recommending that the policy be amended to allow more vacation time as well, with some restrictions as noted in the policy. I would like to note that the original draft of the amendment to the policy, we made some changes since then, some wording changes, and I believe those were on your desk. Those changes basically stated that when the time is used, the only time it's used, it will be sick time when it's used, not vacation time. So it's only to be used for those circumstances.
Do you have any protocol for making sure it's for sick time and not for something else?
Yes, in this circumstance, similar to the last one, I guess the policy just came in, but they do need to be, part of the Family Medical Leave Act, and, it's basically due to an illness to that employee. So when they actually submit for time off or leave time off, it's gonna be specified as sick time, not vacation time.
You don't see any loopholes for abuse at all in what we've spelled out here?
I think our internal procedures are strong enough to prevent that for the most part.
I'll make a motion, what are we doing here? We're amending our sick time donation policy per the handout we received today.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower to amend the sick time donation policy as described in item K. Any further discussion, concerns? Roll call.
Chair,
Yes.
Seymour,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Sauer.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes. Item L, discuss and consider scheduling a public hearing for Monday, July 13th at 5:25 PM to hear your comment on a blight violation of 329 East Bundy Street.
We're just here to schedule a public hearing. We've sent numerous letters and past years to the property owner. I've actually had quite a bit of contact with him this year, and he has intentions to take care of the situation. I want to make sure we follow through in case he doesn't.
I think it's great. I think I'm fine with scheduling the hearing. Is there a reason why we didn't do this in the consent agenda?
What we do is we put it on
Curious.
the new business, we want to make sure everybody's aware of it.
Okay,
Again, light is one of your number one goals, so we do try to touch on those. And then hopefully through the process, it encourages the individual to take care of the problem. Because we really don't want to spend, city time, forces, and money on it if you don't have to. But, so this is just part of that process to encourage them to, clean it up before we get there.
I'll make a motion, we schedule the hearing described in item L.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Kayer to schedule public hearing as described in item L. Any further discussion, concerns? All those in favor, aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item M, discuss and consider a request from Ritzela Construction to dispose of clean fill from city infrastructure project on city-owned property.
And I'll touch on this one a little bit, because we have Jason Rensselaer from Whistler Construction. They're going to be mobilizing and have mobilized some forces over to the Nori area. There's a few blocks over there as part of our phase 3 project for water and sewer. And again, they do look for disposal areas close by, if possible, for some of the clean fill material, as you've seen in the past. We got a request from Ritzela Construction here to consider that. The two areas that we talked about in the past, I'll relay those, and maybe there's others that you want to bring up or talk about, is they call it the Alfred Rice Snow Dump. Again, not in the dump area itself, that's been graded out, needs to be fine graded, but there's a trail that comes down to widen that trail a little bit. Was one of the goals in the past to have some fill brought in there. And also up by the Hiawatha statue, just to the north of that, there's a low spot in there that's been cleared out. It's part of the vista, if you will, from downtown up there. And there's been some discussion, actually, I think we had an individual here, one or so from one of our groups asked about that. And we felt that that's a second area that possibly would be a possible location for clean fill. Again, you have the opportunity, we have the opportunity with this to set any parameters you want. If you like to entertain either of those areas, there's no obligation to do either if you don't want to. But with that, Jason, do you want to add any more comments, any information on that?
No, one thing, I think we looked at some of those with Mr. Semo last year.
We've been talking about in the past too, as possible sites.
Well, either spot is fine with me. I don't know what else the commission thinks, but I'd like to make sure that the area is left in good condition and presentable. So I'm not sure if that's his responsibility or our responsibility.
That'd be the contractors.
Okay.
I'd like to see some kind of specs written up for these if we go with them. and some teeth to non-performance. I don't know how we would do that, but I want to make sure that when we're done, we have something that we want there, not something that we didn't anticipate.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Jason?
There's a few sinkholes up in Miners Park too. Do you want to consider those as well?
Yeah, like the one off Bonnie.
Those are getting pretty deep.
Are you talking about the private property up on?
Oh, the one off of Bonnie.
Oh, the one right off of
The one off
Bonnie?
of Bonnie and the one off Southwest.
I almost think we really need to see what is going on there in a sense. Like, is it gonna go more? How?
And maybe I can touch on.
Does that make sense?
There are two spots that I'm thinking of the same one. There's just one off Bonnie Street as you go up the hill on the right-hand side.
Mhm.
And that one, again, it's settled out. Our plan moving forward, that is city property, is to basically, I got over with the mine inspector here a while back when they had a mine inspector, is to bring some fill in there, tap that, and fence it off. And we do have a fencing project this year, there's $1, so that's one of the locations that we're intending to have fenced off. But we do need some fill over that area. And the other is actually up Southwest Street, if you've been in there, actually to the east, as you go up in that area, that's actually private property. And again, we talked to the city attorney about that, we've also talked to the county. It really does, based on state law, what we can see, fall in the realm of the county mine inspector to try to address that. Now, again, it's in our city, so we have concern about it and want to make sure it gets addressed. But again, it's on private property, and we have forwarded that to the county for review procedurally how to take care of that. So again, we wouldn't have any rights to go on there, and at this point, being vetted in private. But it is a pretty substantial settlement over that area.
So are you saying that we could sort of by eminent domain go in and dump fill in there because it's unsafe? Even though it's private property? Oh, okay, I was trying to put that together.
No, sorry, it's actually private property. Again, there's some state law that's out there that spells out how they're supposed to be addressed in terms of the county mine inspector. And how right now, I know the county's working on filling that position, so they're kind of in limbo. So all that's going to be addressed ultimately, I don't know. We are pursuing that, that needs to be addressed. And then the other one is on city property. That will take just a few loads, it's not a really big area, probably a couple of loads to fill, tap that, and fence.
The one right Bonnie Street is gonna take hardly any fill at all,
Very small area.
but we're gonna fence it.
Correct. It will be filled with fence.
I'll make a motion that we work out fill projects with Rootsella Construction. I don't know what could we put in there as a guideline to make sure things are done.
You want us to put some parameters together, bring it back to you for review the next meeting?
I think the projects need to be defined a little
Yep.
bit, just not some general, sure, go ahead, I'm sure you want to get going with it, but.
It'll be two more weeks at the next
Yeah.
meeting. Now, if those two spots at least are worth it, further discussion, we can put some parameters together, give you more detail on each of those locations. And then Jason, a little more detail about some of the items you brought up,
Right.
as far as, guarantees and that type of thing.
There needs to be some definition, just not a, oh, sure, go down kind of a thing.
Okay, so you bring that item back to us then.
Bring it back to you.
All right, very good.
Does that sound all right, you guys?
Well, yeah, it does. The last couple have not been entirely successful, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Item N, discuss or consider approval for a rural development pay package in the amount of $814.17 for the city of Ironwood Phase 3 Utility Project Water portion, and authorize mayor to sign all applicable documents.
Again, this is our normal payment process for our phase 3 project. You'll see in there some items included are some municipal bills and also some DOT bills for the UST project. It's all one pot of money, even though we have different contracts going. And again, we have still a very healthy retainage plan that we're looking into. Yes, sir. And things are moving along very well over on the north side. A lot of paving going down, and I think Paul had mentioned, a lot of activity over that area.
It was verified that maybe with the final restoration seed, so it's shaping up very well.
So at this point, we have no concerns. Everything's going okay. Right.
I'll make a motion, we approve the pay package described in item N.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower to approve the pay package as described in item N. Any further discussion or concerns? Roll call.
Seymour,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Care,
No.
Parker.
Yes. Item O, consider approval of rural development pay package in the amount of $147,644.08 for the City of Ironwood Phase 3 Utility Project Sewer portion and authorize mayor to sign all applicable documents.
Same
Same
basis.
discussion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the pay package described in item O.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Sim to approve the rural development pay package as described in item O. Any further discussion or concerns? Roll call.
Sim,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Care,
No.
Seymour,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes. Item P, discuss and consider authorizing bids for urgent need grant water main replacement project.
Again, the city is the recipient of grant dollars to help us with the big freeze issue we had here a couple winters ago. And this particular project will include 2 blocks of water main replacement on Francis Street between Hemlock and Barnes. And then there are also 3 blocks up off of County Road, it's Thomas Marlowe and A, which we have frozen water mains, and there's grant funding to replace it. So with this, we go out for bids and then bring those bids back to the city commission to consider, with the idea that this will be project to be under construction probably in August timeframe.
I'll make a motion, we authorize bids described in item P.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower to authorize bids for urgent need grant as described in item P. Any further discussion or concerns? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item Q, discuss status of Hemlock Street paving US 2 to Ridge.
Yeah, I want to bring this to the city commission's attention, have a little bit of discussion on it. We have Hemlock, we did the first phase of Hemlock Street a few years back, total rebuild, new curb and gutter, total rebuild from bottom up, sub-grade, gravel, surfacing, sidewalks, the whole thing. Again, we have not been successful in getting funding for, we budgeted some dollars for that. We still have to get some funding of roughly $375,000 of DOT funding for this. Procedurally, that funding opportunity is out a year, and it's probably another year or so for construction, so we're probably a couple of years out. Again, trying to bring that street up to full all-season standards. Now, with that said, we do have our contract going forward, and we did this on Air Street. We're going easy and going forward. We were going to try to rebuild that whole street again. Again, it's a tiny thing. Money isn't always there when you want it to be. But we wanted to have some discussion if you would be interested in pulverize and pave on there. Again, it turns out very well. As you can see, it's a good product. The street would be there in good shape for many years to come and give us time, probably 3 to 5 years out in that funding cycle to get funding for it. Plus, we have some utility work that we have to do. And right now, our utility funds, we don't have the funds identified to do some of that work. So it's either kind of wait and see, be a few years out project, or try to get it done, this year. Dollar-wise, what we're talking about is this project for a total rebuild is estimated at $637,000. That's $375,000 of DOT grant funding and $262,000 that we budgeted. To do a pulverize and pave for that section, you're looking at about $50,000, a lot of money. But again, a way to get that street up fairly cost effectively and back in good shape for a few years going forward. Again, it would be roughly saving a budget of dollars, about $200,000 by doing that. Now, it doesn't get us where we need to be with that street ultimately. It needs to be an all-season road going forward. That's all route. The rest of the road is up to that condition. But it would give you some opportunity. We've talked about how do we find, some back sealing and other things that we have to get to, where the existing streets that we have in place that need to be maintained. Just up for discussion, is something you're interested in pursuing, thinking about, thoughts?
How much money do we have sitting in that pot right now, budgeted dollars?
We have budgeted $262,000 for that project of city funds right now.
And we have $0 budgeted for the crack sealing and so forth.
Going forward, we do have some from this past budget cycle, but going forward, nothing budget. We get substantial move in that direction from a maintenance standpoint if you wanted to earmark some of those funds for other maintenance or other type of projects.
Well, I think the road definitely needs some TLC sooner rather than later. And we do need to get going on the crack sealing, honestly. That they're getting, some of the cracks are getting really big and we need to take care of them sooner rather than later as well.
I think it'd be nice to see an action item on this on the next agenda. Can we ask for that? Or can we act on it now? It's just because, it's just to discuss the status.
You take action, it's on your agenda, you take action, if you were comfortable doing that. Just to give you a little background on the timing of, again, our local street paving project. That's moving forward, actually the contractor, Northwoods Asphalt, will be in this Wednesday to start doing pulverizing. They have about 10 days with pulverizing to do, so they're gonna be here for about two month period. And then they'll have to come back later summer to maybe catch a few other spots that we're holding out on. So you have a little bit of time, and if you're ready to, comfortable with it, otherwise we can bring it back at the next meeting. If you want to think about it a little more, digest it.
This would go all the way up to where phase one stopped?
It would be, yeah, we connect to phase one.
Sorry,
Arch. Oh, sorry. That's where phase one stopped. So Arch to US 2.
And what infrastructure were we hoping to do there that we would be putting off?
Again, there, you probably got some sanitary sewer work. We're going to televise that I did get with this, with some of the style grant work that we're doing this fall. So there could be some sewer work.
There were a few hydrants, a little bit of sewer, and then some water laterals for, from the main to the curb stop.
So it's nothing eminent. It's something, a lot of our streets we're getting through with their pulverizing pave for another, pulverizing pave is good for 5 to 10 years, roughly, time frames. And we've been seeing a good result of that. Something we've had in place for 78 years. And with some crack sealing, we should be able to get more time on that. So that's why that's so important. Implement also.
I would say that my question is, does city staff have a reasonable level of confidence that we're not going to be tearing up our new pulverized and pave to do fix a water leak? I mean, it's a crystal ball thing, but what are your thoughts there?
All the streets are doing pulverized and paved. There is no utility work getting done.
Right.
Miles and miles around town. It's a standard
Yeah.
maintenance operation. Knowing that your infrastructure still at some time needs to be replaced. But, I don't know that area is not imminent. Could we have a water break there? Sure. But
Typically, that's not one of our problem areas. I mean, once in a while is a leak, but there's other areas where they're constantly.
it's kind of one of our habitual problem areas. No one would say that we're probably.
Yeah,
But we haven't had.
Right. I mean, there's miles of city streets that fall in the same category that we pulverized and paved.
Right. Actually, we're very well.
So what would be the amount of money freed up for, say, potentially crack sealing?
Roughly $200,000.
Roughly 200.
Maybe a little bit more.
Could we would have, if we were to do this, we now would have 200,000 in unencumbered funds.
Correct, in your street.
It's in the street budget. So we could, if we chose to directly put that into crack sealing, or we could defer a decision on that.
You can defer, I'll decide to the commission how you'd like to use those funds.
I'm in favor of it.
I'm in favor as well.
Are you thinking that we should commit to spending the money on the crack sealing right at this moment, or do you want to?
Other than crack sealing, what else can we do road repair wise? What else is in the works?
I mean, crack sealing is I'd say is your biggest need right now. Again, you're never done in million lane, but probably your biggest bang for your buck is going to be crack sealing. We've had a huge investment in our roads over the last 5 years. We've been miles and miles and millions of investment into the streets. So I think it'd be a really good investment into the roads, into the investment you've already made to extend the life of those roads. And you're right, once you start seeing cracks, and you will in the streets, every street is going to crack. And you do need to seal it to keep that water from getting into the freezing. It'd be your best investment, I think.
And
Like,
you're not,
I guess an example is Van Buskirk, the roads, the service is actually coming off in spots. It's what would you do there? That'd be like a cutout and repave or?
Well, you cut out, and we've done a couple sections where we've done some cutouts, if it's actually not a subgrade failure, where you get the elevator, the aircraft, you want to cut that out, do more of a permanent path. But something like that, another strategy that we have to talk about and try to get funding for is seal coating. That would be a perfect candidate for a seal coat. And you probably saw in the detour they've done, it's actually a micro surfacing, which is a little more than a seal coat. But it's a good strategy on streets that are in decent shape already, that are starting to see some distress like that. When you start doing those surface treatments. But right now, we're not budgeted for that. That would be another paving strategy that we need to talk about.
That was the direction I was thinking, was what they did with Jackson Road. It looked pretty impressive, actually. That was what you just said.
Micro surfacing, what they call it.
And I was just curious if you had an idea how much that cost to do.
I don't, I can get it, I don't right off the top of my head.
Is that something you typically hire a contractor to do, or do you do that?
Specialized equipment.
How about the crack sealing?
Crack sealing, either way, you can hire a contractor, but you need the equipment. So, you specialized equipment to route out the crack, and a kettle that you put your crack sealing material in and keeps it hot, so you can get into the crack. So there's some specialized equipment. We've actually talked a little bit, Bob and I, about different strategies for crack sealing, internal, trying to maybe do some contract out, a couple different options there that we're looking at, trying to stretch our dollars, that we have. It's something that I think we need a little more discussion on. We are going to go and visit Iron County, and David County, they have a pretty extensive crack sealing program going on right now. I think that'll be very effective for them, so we wanted to talk to them a little bit about their equipment, do we rent it, should we look at buying it, ourselves, and that type of thing.
I'd like to see a little more analysis of the in-house versus contracting it out. That being said, I certainly can go along with the mill and overlay, or pulverize and overlay, right? On Hemlock Street, to free up those dollars, and they're part of our streets budget already, so that's all they can be used for, correct? Maybe a little more discussion on how we'd actually allocate that 200,000.
We'll bring that back with maybe some discussions on crack sealing in more detail. It is a big effort. The commission's talked about that.
Big step here, to start a direction that we during our budgeting, we were looking at the crack sealing thing, going, we want to do this so bad.
Right.
And here's an opportunity to at least start on it. So I think that's really some great thinking by city staff. I'll make a motion that we dedicate the necessary funds out of that Hemlock budgeted money to do a pulverize and overlay on it.
I'll second.
And then do you need a motion about the other money yet?
We'll bring that back probably at your next meeting, some more discussion on crack sealing, other maintenance strategies.
all right, motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower, to dedicate necessary funds to pulverize and pave. Do we need a street from Arch to US 2? Does that work? Okay. So a motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower, to donate the necessary funds to pulverize and pave Arch to US 2. Any further discussion, concerns? Roll call on Hemlock. Sorry. Okay with, okay. All right, so motion by Semo, second by Tower. Roll call. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item R, manager's report.
All right, I'll give you basically an update on all the projects and some things going on over the next week or so. Again, it just continues to ramp up, a lot of projects in the works. As I mentioned, our local street paving project will start up this Wednesday. That's when we start doing pulverizing. That'll be about 10 days with the pulverizing. We'll start shaping, and then I'll have to move in an asphalt plant and start doing overlays. We do have another mobilization come back in later. We just don't want to overspend our budget. I think we're going to be fine. And I'll come in again later and get that work done. So we're looking at June, basically June, July for the bulk of the work on our local project. We are wrapping up our last year's local project, 2014 local street paving. We had a few little things in there to finish up. People still had that project. It was an open project. And they did some paving for us in the industrial park. We've been over there. We did an intersection that over the winter time just basically fell apart. So they did a nice job of polarizing and paving that intersection. And they're going to be doing 4 blocks north of US 2 over in Paul's neighborhood over there. There were 4 blocks that weren't part of the project. So we had them pulverize and pave that 4 blocks too. So basically that whole neighborhood now has 2 streets throughout there. So that'd be a real nice improvement for that area. We talked about our trail project moving along very well with Ross Peterson. Kenny Studio basically wrapped up. We'll watch the turf establishment out there. The US 2 project moving along very well with DOT and Hebert Construction. They've been working on a box culvert over by the theater. You probably saw that going on. And now they're swapping traffic. I think they've actually swapped as of today. They moved traffic back over to the north side of the roadway. Basically in preparation of starting on the water and sewer work. That is going to be on the south side. So again, anything here that Mike, anything else to add to that?
Well, it's the sewer work starts on the first segment in the water when they push traffic back. After they have the south side done, then they'll do the water.
Okay. And they've spent a lot of time in the lake US 2 intersection. You probably saw a lot of lane changes, work going on there. They were basically working on the 16-inch water main. That's our lifeline coming from our well field. And they're basically getting that in place. They've done a lot of work on that in preparation of swapping traffic and then reconnecting that on the next other side of the intersection. So again, another nice section of 16-inch water main that's going to be replaced underneath US 2 as part of the project. You may have seen over along your park, we have a grant for some play equipment over there, accessible play equipment. It might be one of the only structures in town or in our area that has accessible play equipment for handicap accessibility. So again, they worked on that over the weekend. Our park staff worked on that with them. Some other assistants, some other staff members, again, worked out really well. Part of our in-kind was prepping the site, and the contractor came in and built the structures. And again, they have some cleanup work out there, so I don't want you to think they're done yet. It's all soft and wet over there, so we'll come back and clean up the site. But again, now a nice addition to that area, and I think the structure, play facility that probably is maybe one of the only ones in the area with that type of handicap accessibility. We also, this week, we have foreigner asphalt sealers. And they're going to be coming in. There's a contractor that has a paving striking contract. So they're going to be coming in Wednesday. They'll be painting at night. Doing the main line painting, the center line, the fog lines, probably Wednesday and Thursday. So when we wait for the morning, you probably see a lot of fresh paint on the ground. And then we'll be coming in with another crew to do some of the interior markings, the turn arrows and that type of thing. Michael, I mentioned the downtown art park, looked really nice down there. I think they're doing a really good job with the concrete yet before. And then they'll finish off the site. That site gets sodded. So the fresh sod down there on topsoil in that area that right now is going to be the green space. So I know Michael was looking for volunteers to help water sod. So if anybody wants to give a hand with that and take a shot at that, we need water for a couple of weeks to get that sod to root in. And we're probably a week or two off from sodding. It sounds like the contractor still has some work to finish up over there. We also have been working with the DOT, City Commission, approved this a while back, but it's the Safe Route to School project that's been designed. Out for bids. Again, it's a DOT bid project, 100% grant funding. And that did go up for bids. The bids were open last week. Ritzel Construction is the apparent bidder. Is that understanding? So, take it, correct? So that's what I've been hearing. They're still working through the details on that. In that project, hopefully we'll start here in the near future. Well, we'll start in the near future once they got the paperwork and process finalized with the DOT.
Will that project be completed this summer?
And that is scheduled to be completed this summer. I don't remember the date, but it is the 2015 project. We've talked about the Sawgrass project, and again, that's related to sanitary sewer, basically, storm sewer mains. We had a very significant grant through the state to go and televise those mains. We saw the smoke testing last year and this year. We had crews around doing smoke testing. And when they smoke test, they're not just running smoke down there because they like to do that. They actually get a result from that. We find out where there's a connection between sanitary and storm sewer to see if we have some cross connections. Now, we have found some locations where we have, a number of locations where we have old houses that were torn down over, many years ago, and the sanitary line is still connected, and when it rains, water gets into that and gets down the wastewater line. So from that smoke testing, we get the results of that and go back in and start doing projects where we actually disconnect or plug sanitary laterals or get rid of these cross connections. So our DPW staff is working on that, and that'll be something over the summer, just keep on plugging away at it, because there are a number of them around town. It should have a significant impact at the end of the day in what is going down to the wastewater plant. So very, very good effort, and I think we're seeing the results we need to see, some big corrections going forward. We're also having come in, there's a contractor that does televising, televise all the sewer mains, or the vast majority of the sewer mains around town. And they also, when they televise, some of our mains probably have been cleaned for a long, long time. So it'd be a really nice effort to do that. We'll again find out where there's other deficiencies and we can make the corrections. So that company is coming in June 15th, and they'll be there for a good part of the summer, televising a lot of the sewer mains, and also we get a side benefit by having to clean those mains before they come out. Michael, Dennis, Jason, and others have been working on the hardest hit demolition grant. We call that, we have funding to basically demolish some properties that are in that condition. And there's a grant to do that. They've been working with, right now they're working with 16 property owners in various phases of moving those along. And they did out 4 of those properties for demolition. So again, working through the details of reviewing the bids and working with the funding agency. And hopefully at the next meeting, if not at the next meeting, one of the next meetings, we brought to the commission for just some recommendations. So again, they'll package these properties as they become available and go up for contractor demolition bids periodically over the summer. We also should be seeing shortly, again, I'm glad we really held out on this, the downtown flower baskets. That's something that goes up every year as a nice addition to downtown. The DIA has purchased those, they're waiting to go up. And we kind of debated, give Neil a lot of credit, and Mother kind of held off on that with the weather. If we had put them up, they would probably be not looking so good right now. It's been crossed up for the last week or so. So again, it looks like those will be going up in the next week or so. I don't know exact time frame, but they'll help further enhance the downtown area. We're also starting with everything else on the plate, starting contract negotiations with both the AFSCME and the public safety unions. So I'll start up here this month, and we'll strongly on that and hopefully get the contracts resolved and move forward. So a lot of activity in that area will keep the commission up to speed on that process. Again, a lot of things going on. I'm not going to go through all of them, but we have the historic Ironwood Theater. We're going to have their Back in the 50s event coming up on the 20th of June. We have the History Conference in town, June 26th to 28th. Festival Ironwood, July 15th to the 18th. So if people are looking to do things, there's a lot going on, a lot of things to be involved with. And also this year, it's nice to see, I just speak today, I think it was their first day, the Ironwood schools are again having their free lunch program down at the Depot Park. And again, a lot of kids down there, I believe it's Monday through Thursday into early August. It's 11:30 to 12:30. And I know last year was very successful. It's nice to see they brought that program back to our area. That's the end of the report.
Just a question about the farmer's market and Ironwood market. Do we have any idea when that might be starting up?
Meeting with the market manager, actually this week, talk about the details more. The tentative schedule is the first Friday after Festival Ironwood, but there might be a possibility that we can get started a little earlier. But it will run Fridays from roughly 2 to 6:30, 7 o'clock in the afternoon, mid-July through October as long as the weather permits. But again, it may start a few weeks earlier depending on the weather and the farmers and if they have produce and things like that.
Okay, item S, other matters.
I think we should schedule a workshop to go over the rules of the city commission. They haven't been revised and updated for many years now. I have the most current copy. We've changed a few things and I think we should have a discussion on some of the rules.
Would you like that at your next meeting?
You guys are okay with it?
You want to push it out to next meeting, I will not be here. I have my clerk's convention, so if you wouldn't mind pushing it out, so then I can just be there.
First meeting in July,
That'd be perfect.
That's okay.
5 o'clock.
That'd be okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Brandon. Any other matters? Item T, adjournment.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, second by Commissioner Tower to adjourn tonight's meeting. Any further discussion? All those in favor, aye. Opposed, motion carried.
No, but I'd love to read it, Joe. Oh, yes, thank you.
Be nothing left to do over there.